What's up, boys? My name's Commenters Anonymous, and welcome to Chill Reading. This is a new series I'm doing on the channel that is basically just, reading stuff and chill, obviously. Yeah, I'm basically intending on these to be like relaxing, you can just kind of just have this on, chill out, not do a whole lot, whatever floats your boat. But yeah. This one today is going to be about signs of AI writing. Um, this is from Wikipedia, and it's a pretty comprehensive list of everything, um, a lot of aspects of AI writing. So, without further ado, let's begin. Wikipedia, signs of AI writing. This is a list of writing and formatting conventionals typical of AI chatbots such as ChatGPT, with real examples taken from Wikipedia articles and drafts. It is meant to act as a field guide to help undisclosed AI or generated content on Wikipedia. This list is descriptive, not prescriptive. It contains observations, not rules. Advice about formatting or language to avoid in Wikipedia articles can be found in the policies and guidelines in the manual style, but does not belong on this page. This list is not a ban on certain words, phrases, or punctuation. Not all text featuring the following indicators is AI generated, as the large language models that power AI chatbots are trained on human writing, including the writing of Wikipedia editors. This is simply a catalog of very common patterns observed over many thousands of instances of AI generated text specific to Wikipedia. While some of this advice may be broadly available, some signs, particularly those involving punctuation and formatting, may not apply on a non-Wikipedia context. The patterns here are also only potential signs of a problem, not the problem itself. While many of these issues are immediately obvious and easy to fix, e.g., excessive boldface, poor wordsmithing, broken markup, citation style quirks, they can point to less outwardly visible problems that carry much more serious policy risks. If LLM-generated text is polished enough, initially or subsequently, those surface defects might not be present, but any deeper problems will. Please do not merely treat these signs as the problems to be fixed. That could just make detection harder. The actual problems are those deeper concerns, so make sure to address them either yourself by flagging them for the advice at Wikipedia, large language models and handling suspected LLM generated content, and Wikipedia, project AI cleanup / guide. The speedy detection policy criterion G15, LLM generated pages without human review, is limited to the most objective and least contestable indications that the page's content was generated by an LLM. There are 3 such indicators, the first of which can be found in communication intended for the user, and the other 2 in citations. The other sides are not sufficient on their own for speedy deletion. Do not solely rely on artificial intelligence content market detection tools such as GPT-0 to evaluate whether a text is LLM generated. While they perform better than random chance, these tools have non-trivial error rates. It cannot replace human judgments. Language and tone. LLMs, and artificial neural networks in general, use statistical algorithms to guess and infer what should come next based on large corpus of training material. It thus tends to regress to the mean. That is, the result tends toward the most statistically likely result that applies to the widest variety of cases. It can simultaneously be a strength and a tell for detecting AI-generated content. For example, LLMs are usually trained on data from the internet in which famous people are generally described with positive, important-sounding language. It will thus sand out specific, unusual, nuanced facts which are statistically rare and replace them with more generic, positive descriptions, which are statistically common. Thus, the specific detail invented the first train coupling device might become a revolutionary titan of industry. It is like shouting louder and louder that a portrait shows a uniquely important person. While the portrait itself is fading from a sharp photograph into a blurry generic sketch, the subject becomes simultaneously less specific and more exaggerated. These statistical regressions to the mean, a smoothing over of specific facts into generic statements that could equally apply to many topics, makes AI generated content easier to detect. Undue emphasis on symbolism and importance. Words to watch. Stands, serves as, is a testament, reminder, plays a vital slash significant slash crucial role, underscore slash highlights, its importance slash significance, reflects broader, symbolism is ongoing, enduring slash lasting impact, key turning point, undelible mark, deeply rooted, profound heritage, steadfast dedication. LLM writing often puffs up the importance of the subject matter by adding statements about how arbitrary aspects of a topic represent or contribute to a broader topic. There's a distinct and easily identifiable repertoire of ways that it writes these statements. LLM may include them for even the most mundane of things, sometimes with hedging comments like, while open bracket minor slash not well known slash etc close bracket it open bracket symbolizes slash stands as slash contributes close bracket ellipsis. While talking about biology, e.g. when asked to discuss a given animal or plant species, LLMs tend to put too much emphasis on the species conservation status in the efforts to protect it. Even if the status is unknown and no serious efforts exist, it may strain to derive symbolism from things like taxonomy. Examples. Zuera enjoys close proximity to the capital cities, Algiers, further enhancing its significance as a dynamic hub of activity and culture. Berry Hill today stands as a symbol of community resilience, ecological renewal, and historical continuity. Its transformation from a coal mining hub into a thriving green space reflects the evolving identity of Stoke-on-Trent. By preying on these pests, some globus species play a significant role in natural pest control, contributing to ecological balance and agricultural health. These citations, spanning more than 6 decades and appearing in recognized academic publications, increase Blais's lasting influence on computational linguistics, grammar, and neology. Though its only limited application, it contributes to the broader history of early aviation engineering and reflects the influence of French rotary designs. Ellipsis. Superficial analyses. Words to watch. Ensuring ellipsis. Highlighting ellipsis. Emphasizing ellipsis, reflecting ellipsis, underscoring ellipsis, showcasing ellipsis, aligns with ellipsis, contributing to ellipsis. AI chatbots tend to insert superficial analysis of information, often in relation to its significance, recognition, or impact. This is often done by attaching a present participle ing phrase to the end of a sentence, sometimes with vague attributions to third parties. See below. While many of these words are strong AI tells on their own, an even stronger tell is when the subjects of these words are facts, or these verbs rather, are facts, events, or other abstract concepts. A person, for example, can highlight or emphasizing something, but a fact or event cannot. Okay. The highlighting or underscoring is not something that is actually happening. It is a claim by a disembodied narrator about what something means. Such comments are usually synthesis and or unattributed opinions in wiki voice. Newer chatbots with retrieval augmented generation, for example, an AI chatbot that can search the web, may instead attach this language to attributed statements, e.g., critic Roger Elbert praised the film, underscoring the story's impact. Since this is still AI generated text, this may be inaccurate or subjective interpretation of what the source actually said. Examples. In 2025, Federation was internationally recognized and invited to participate in the Asia Pickleball Summit, highlighting Pakistan's entry with the global pickleball community. The civil rights movement emerged as a powerful continuation of this struggle, emphasizing the importance of solidarity and collective action in the fight for justice. Its bilingual monument design, with inscriptions in both English and Spanish, underscores its role in bringing together Latter-day Saints from the United States and Mexico. Promotional and positively loaded language. Words to watch. Rich, vibrant, diverse tapestry. Artistic, cultural, literary, media, etc. Landscape, both say. Continues to captivate. Groundbreaking, intricate, stunning, natural beauty, enduring, lasting legacy, nestled in the heart of ellipsis. LLMs have serious problems of keeping a neutral tone, especially when writing about something that can be considered a cultural heritage, in which case they would constantly remind the reader that it is a cultural heritage. They also frequently use positive sounding loaded language in the form of phrases such as rich. It's in Times New Roman. Hold on. It's like Times New Roman. Such as rich tapestry, which are generally associated with written material intended to convince readers of their subject's value or importance. Examples. Nestled within the breathtaking region of Gondar in Ethiopia, that's a big name. Alamata Rayakobo stands as a vibrant town with a rich cultural heritage and significant place in the Amaraha region. From its scenic landscapes to its historical landmarks, Alamata Rayakobo offers visitors a fascinating glimpse into the diverse tapestry of Ethiopia. In this article, we will explore the unique characteristics that make Alamata Rayakobo a town worth visiting and shed light on its significance with the Amaraha region. TTDC acts as a gateway to Tamil Nadu's diverse attractions, seemingly connecting the beginning and end of every traveler's journey. It offers dependable, value driven experiences that showcase the state's rich history, spiritual heritage, and natural beauty. Didactic, editorializing disclaimers. Words to watch. It's important slash crucial slash critical. To note slash remember slash consider may vary. Ellipsis. LLMs often tell the reader about things, quote, it's important to remember. This frequently happens in the context of disclaimers to an imagined reader regarding safety or controversial topics, or disambiguating topics that vary in different locales slash jurisdictions. Examples. The emergence of these informal groups reflects a growing recognition of the interconnected nature of urban issues and the potential for ANCs to play a role in shaping citywide policies. However, it's important to note that these caucuses operate outside the formal ANC structure and their influence on policy decisions may vary. It is crucial to differentiate the independent AI research company based on Yerevan and Armenia, which is the subject of this report, from these unrelated organizations to prevent confusion. It's important to remember that what's free in one country may not be free in another, so always check before you use something. Section summaries. Words to watch. In summary, in conclusion, overall. Ellipsis. When generating longer outputs, such as when told to write an article, LLMs often add section titled conclusions or similar, and will often end a paragraph or section by summarizing and restating its core idea. Examples. In summary, the educational and training trajectory of nurse scientists typically involves a progression from a master's degree in nursing to a doctorate in philosophy in nursing, followed by postdoctoral training in nursing research. This structured pathway ensures that nurse scientists acquire the necessary knowledge and skills to engage in rigorous research and contribute meaningfully to the advancement of nursing science. Outline-like conclusions about challenges and future prospects. Despite its ellipsis, faces several challenges, ellipsis. Despite these challenges in legacy, future outlook, ellipsis. Many LLM-generated Wikipedia articles include a challenges section, which typically begins with a sentence like, despite its positive slash promotional words, comma, article subject faces challenges, ellipsis, and ends with either a vaguely positive assessment of the article's subject or speculation about how ongoing or potential initiatives could benefit the subject, such paragraphs usually appear at the end of articles with a rigid outline structure, which may also include a separate section for future prospects. Note, this sign is about the rigid formula, not simply the mention of challenges. Examples. Despite its industrial and residential prosperity, big words, oh my goodness, Kurator faces challenges typical of urban areas, including, ellipsis, With its strategic location and ongoing initiatives, Corator continues to thrive as an integral part of Embatter Industrial Zone, embodying the synergy between industry and residential living. Despite its success, the Panama Canal faces challenges including ellipsis, future investments in technologies such as automated navigation systems and potential further expansions could enhance the canal's efficiency and maintain its relevance in global trade. Despite their promising applications, bioelectric materials face several challenges that must be addressed for broader adoption. One key limitation is ellipsis. Despite these challenges, the versatility of bioelectric materials positions them as crucial components for sustainable energy solution and next generation sensor technologies. The future of hydrocarbon economies faces several challenges, including ellipsis. This section would speculate on potential developments and the challenging landscape of global energy. Operating in the current Afghan media environment presents numerous challenges, including ellipsis. Despite these challenges, Abu TV has managed to continue to provide a vital service to the Afghan population. For example, while the methodology supports transdisciplinary collaboration principle, applying it effectively in large heterogeneous teams can be challenging. Ellipsis. SCE continues to evolve in response to these challenges. Negative parallelisms. Oh, this one's a this one's a dead giveaway. Oh boy. Alright, back to reading this. Parallel constructions involve being not, but, or however, such as not only ellipsis, but ellipsis, or it's not just about ellipsis, it's ellipsis, are common in LLM writing, but are often unsuitable for writing in a neutral tone. Examples: Self-Portrait by Yayoi Kusuma, executed in 2010 and currently preserved in the famous Uffizi Gallery in Florence, constitutes not only a work of self-expression, but a visual document of her obsessions, visual strategies, and psychobiographical narratives. It's not just about the beat writing under the vocals, it's part of the aggression and atmosphere. What the fuck? Critical the rapper. Alright. Here's an example of a negative parallelism across multiple sentences. He hailed from the esteemed Deuce family, renowned for their theatrical legacy. Eugenio's life, however, took a path that intertwined both personal ambition and familial complexities. No ellipsis, just ellipsis constructions. On rare occasion, user messages that appear AI generated may also include phrases that read along the lines of no. Why do they use Times New Roman? Along the lines of no ellipsis, just ellipsis. Examples: there are no long-form profiles, no editorial insights, no coverage of her game dev career, no notable accolades, just TikTok recaps and callouts. This page should be gone fully, cleanly, without delay. No redirect, no merge, just delete. I'm hitting the reset button, no hard feelings, no drama, M dash. Just clean, policy-based engagement from here on out. Rule of 3. LLMs overuse the rule of 3. The good, the bad, and the ugly. This can take different forms, from adjective, to short phrase. LLMs use this structure to make superficial analyses appear more comprehensive. Examples: the Amaze conference brings together global SEO professionals, marketing experts, and growth hackers to discuss the latest trends in digital marketing. The event features keynote sessions, panel discussions, and networking opportunities. Vague attributions of opinion. AI chatbots tend to attribute opinions or claims to some vague authority, a practice called weasel wording, while citing only one or two sources that may or may not actually express such view. They also tend to overgeneralize the perspective of one or a few sources into that of a wider group. Examples: the weasel wording implies the opinion comes from an independent source, but actually cites Nick Ford's own website. Nick Ford's, compositions have been described as exploring conceptual themes and bridging the gaps between artistic media. Due to its unique characteristics, the Hawali River is of interest to researchers and conservationists. Efforts are ongoing to monitor its ecological health and preserve the surrounding grassland environment, which is part of a larger initiative to protect China's semi-arid ecosystems from degradation. Elegant variation. Generative AI has a repetition penalty code meant to discourage it from reusing words too often. For instance, the output might give a main character's name and then repeatedly use a different synonym or relative term, e.g., protagonist, key player, eponymous, eponymous character when mentioning a game. No, if a user adds multiple pieces of AI generated content in separate edits, this tell may not apply, as each piece of text may have been generated in isolation. Okay, examples. Pink, Soviet artistic constraints. Blue, nonconformist artists. And purple, their creativity. Bierny, after a visit in Moscow in the early 1970s, committed to supporting artists resisting the constraints of socialist realism, and discovered uh, that name, among others such as Iya Kebab and Eric Lutov, in the challenging climate of Soviet artistic constraints. That, alongside other nonconformist artists, faced obstacles in expressing their creativity freely. Gina Verdi, recognizing the immense talent and the struggles of these artists endured, playing a pivotal role in aiding their artistic expressions in this new chapter of his life, found himself amidst a community of like-minded artists who, despite diverse styles, shared a common goal to break free from the confines of state-imposed artistic norms, particularly socialist realism. Pardon my burp. False ranges. When from ellipsis to ellipsis, constructions are not used figuratively. They're used to indicate the lower and upper bounds of the scale. The scale is either quantitative, involving an explicit or implicit numerical range, e.g., from 1990 to 2000, from 15 to 20 ounces, from winter to autumn, or qualitative, involving categorical bounds, e.g., from seed to tree, from mild to severe, from white belt to black belt. The same construction may be used to form a merism, a figure of speech that combines the two extremes as two contrasting parts of the whole to refer to the whole. This is a figurative meaning, but it has the same structure as the non-figurative usage because it still requires an identifiable scale from head to toe, length of a body denoting the whole body, from soup to nuts, clearly based on time, etc. This is not a false range. LLMs really like mixing it up, such as when giving examples of items within a set, instead of simply mentioning them one after another. An important consideration is whether some middle ground can be identified without changing the endpoints. If the middle requires switching from one scale to another scale, or there is no scale between with or a coherent whole that can be conceived, the construction is a false range. LLMs often employ figurative, often simply meaningless, from ellipsis to ellipsis constructions that purported to signify a scale. While the endpoints are loosely related or essentially unrelated things, and no meaningful scale can be inferred. LLMs do this because such meaningless language is used in persuasive writing to impress and woo, and LLMs are heavily influenced by materials consisting of persuasive writing during their training. Examples. Our journey through the universe has taken us from the singularity of the Big Bang to the grand cosmic web, from the birth and death of stars that forge the elements of life, to the animatic dance of dark matter and the dark energy to shape its destiny. Ellipsis. Intelligence and creativity, from problem solving and tool making to scientific discovery, artistic expression, and technological innovation, human intelligence is characterized to its adaptability and capability for novel solutions. Ellipsis. Continued scientific discovery, the quest to understand the universe, life, and ourselves will continue to drive scientific breakthroughs, from fundamental physics to medicine and neuroscience. Style. I'm gonna get some water. give me a second, please. Style. Title case. For non-AI specific guidance about this, see Wikipedia Manual of Style / capital letters and headings, headers, and captions. In section headings, AI chatbots strongly tend to consistently capitalize all main words. Title case. Examples. Early life and education. Thomas was born in Cosharoville, Pennsylvania. Applications in racing. Thomas's behavioral profiling has been used to evaluate Kentucky Derby. Ellipsis. Global consulting. Thomas's behavior profiling has been used to evaluate Kentucky Derby and Breeders' Club contenders. Ellipsis. International speaking engagements. In July 2025, Thomas was invited as a featured presenter to the Second Horse Economic Forum. Ellipsis. Educational programs. Thomas is the founder of the Institute for Advanced Akin Studies. Ellipsis. Extensive use of boldface. AI chatbots may display various phrases in boldface for emphasis in an excessive mechanical manner. One of their tendencies, inherited from Readmus, FanWiki's how-tos, sales pitches, slide decks, listicles, and other materials that heavily use boldface, is to emphasize every instance of a chosen word or phrase, often in a key takeaways fashion. Some numerous large language models or apps have instructions to avoid overuse of boldface. Examples. It blends OKRs, objective and key results, KPIs, and visual strategy tools such as the business model Canvas, BMC, and advanced scorecard, BSC. OPC is designed to bridge the gap between the strategy and execution, fostering a unified mindset and shared direction within organizations. Inline header vertical lists. AI chatbots content often includes vertical lists. A particular list formatting is employed. It comprises an ordered or unordered list where the list marker, number, bullet, dash is followed by an inline boldface header of sorts. A colon then separates it from the remaining descriptive text. Separately from its side, this is one of the things which cause an overabundant boldfacing. See excessive use of boldface. Instead of proper wiki text, a bullet point in an unordered list may appear as a bullet character, hyphen, n dash, or similar character. Ordered lists, i.e. numbered lists, may use explicit numbers such as 1 instead of standard wiki text. When copied as a bare text appearing on the screen, some of the formatting information is lost, and line breaks may be lost as well. Examples. 1. Historical context post-World War II era. The world is rapidly changing after World War I. M-dash. 2. Nuclear arms race. Following the U.S. atomic bombings, the Soviet Union detonated its first bomb in 1949. And so on. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Emojis. Sometimes AI chatbots decorate section headings or bullet points by placing emojis in front of them. Examples. Let's decode exactly what's happening here. Brain emoji. Cognitive dissonance pattern. You've proven authorship, demonstrated originality, and introduced new frameworks, yet they're defending a system that explicitly disallows recognition of originators unless a third party writes about them first. Ellipsis. Chest emoji? Structural gatekeeping. Wikipedia policy favors M dash. Underlying motivation. Why would a human fight you on this? Alarm emoji? Ellipsis. Clock compass emoji? What you're actually dealing with. This is not a debate about rules. Okay. Overuse of M dashes. While human editors and writers often use M dashes, LLM output tends to use them more often than non-professional human-written text of the same genre. Using them in places where humans are more likely to use commas, parentheses, colons, or misused hyphens. LLMs especially tend to use M dashes in a formulaic pat way, often mimicking punched-up sales-like writing by overemphasizing clauses or parallelisms. LLMs overuse M dashes because they were trained, sometimes illegally, on novels. And novelists have always enjoyed using M dashes more often than lay people do. This sign is most useful when taken in combination with other indicators, not by itself. Examples. Elwindor is a virtual micronation for people with passion and skill, a place to build, to create, and to help each other grow while chasing wealth. But not wealth for greed, wealth to love, to give, to help others, to donate. Cool. Curly quotation marks and apostrophes. AI chatbots typically use curly quotation marks instead of straight quotation marks. In some cases, AI chatbots inconsistently use pairs of curly and straight quotation marks in the same response. They also tend to use a curly apostrophe, the same character as a curly right write single quotation mark instead of the straight apostrophe, such as in contradictions in possessive forms. They may also do contractions in possessive forms. They may also do this inconsistently. Curly quotes alone do not prove LLM use. Microsoft Word, as well as macOS and iOS devices, have a smart quotes feature that converts straight quotes to curly quotes. Grammar connecting tools such as Language Tool may also have such feature. Curly quotation marks and apostrophes are common in professionally typeset work, such as major newspapers. Citation tools like Citer may repeat these that appear in the title webpage, for example. McClelland Mac 2017-09-27. When not guilty is a life sentence. The New York Times retrieved 25803. Note that Wikipedia allows users to customize the fonts and to display text. Some fonts display matched curly apostrophes as straight, in which case the distinction is invisible to user. Subject lines. User messages and unblock requests generated by AI chatbots sometimes begin with a text that is intended to be pasted into the subject field on an email form. Example, subject, request for permission to edit Wikipedia article, dog. Subject, request for review and clarification regarding draft article. Okay, cool. Communication intended for the user. Collaborative communication, words to watch. I hope this helps. Of course, certainly. You're absolutely right. Would you like ellipsis? Is there anything else? Let me know. More detailed breakdown. Here's a ellipsis. Editors will sometimes paste text from AI chatbot as correspondence, pre-writing, or advice by the chatbot rather than the article content. This may appear in article or text within comments. AI chatbots may also explicitly indicate that text is for a Wikipedia article if prompted to produce one. It may mention various policies and guidelines in the output, often explicitly specifying that their Wikipedia's conventions. Examples. This Fetish Channel article provides the tone of Wikipedia article and the creative elements requested, including the announcement date, release date, new cast, and crew for the sequel. Let me know if you like it expanded or tailored further. Let's just keep that in this case. Knowledge cutoff disclaimers and speculation about gaps in sources. Words to watch. As of date, up to last training update. As of my last knowledge update, while specific details are limited / generous, not widely available, documents disclosed in the provided available sources search results based on available information. A knowledge cutoff disclaimer is a statement used by a chatbot to indicate the information provided may be incomplete, inaccurate, or outdated. An LLM is a fixed knowledge cutoff. Usually the model / training update is unable to provide any information on events or developments past that time. It will often output a disclaimer to remind the user of this cutoff, which usually takes the form of a statement that says the information provided is accurate only up to a certain date. If an LLM with retrieval augmented generation fails to find sources on a given topic, or if information is not included in sources provided to it by the prompt, it will often output a statement to that effect, which is similar to a knowledge cutoff disclaimer, and may also pair it with text about what the information likely may be and why it is significant. The information is entirely speculative, including very claim that it is not documented. It may be based on loosely related topics or completely fabricated. It is also frequently combined with the details above. While specific information about fauna of Stuinsi Ora is limited in the provided search results, the amount likely supports ellipsis. Prompt refusal. Prompt refusal. Words to watch. As an AI language model, as a large language model, occasionally the AI chatbot will decline to answer prompts as written. Usually with an apology or reminder that it is an AI language model, attempting to be helpful, it often gives suggestions or an answer to an alternative similar request. Outright refusals have become increasingly rare. Prompt refusals are obviously unacceptable for Wikipedia users, so if a user includes one anyway, it might indicate that they did not review the text, or may not be proficient in English. However, to assume good faith, because the editor may genuinely want to improve our coverage of knowledge gaps. Examples. As an AI language model, I can't directly add content to Wikipedia for you, but I can help you draft your bibliography. Links to searches. When results appear in the searches, they are almost always problematic, but remember that it would be okay for an article to include them if, for example, they were in a relevant attributed quote. As an AI language model is a large language model, OpenAI use policy. Yep. Phrasal templates and placeholder text. AI chatbots may generate responsive fill-in-the-blank phrasal templates as seen in the game medlibs for the LLM user to replace with words and phrases pertaining to their use case. However, some LLM users forget to fill in the blanks. Note that non-LLM generated templates exist for drafts and new articles such as Wikipedia, artist biography, article template / preload, and pages in category article creation templates. Example, subject, concerns about inaccurate information. Dear Wikipedia, I'm writing to express my deep concern in the spread of misinformation on the platform. Specifically, I am referring to the article about entertainer's name, which I believe contains inaccurate and harmful information. Symbols, that, or that, instead of 4 hyphens for thematic breaks. Seem technically incorrect or both. The chatbot might put its attempted wiki text content in a markdown style fence code block. Okay, I think the rest of this is just code. But yeah. That's all. Actually, broken external links. Yeah, I think that's all for today. It gives you kind of general kind of idea on like signs of AI writing and how you can tell something's obviously AI generated, which is very important. These days, and like half the things are AI generated, especially YouTube videos. And some people just are too dumb or just don't care enough to like identify if something's like AI generated or not. So yeah, I know this was a bit of a long video, but hey, it's something I find really interesting. I might do more of these chill reading style videos, maybe with a bit more silly topics than like how to spy AI. But you know, I thought this one was really fun, even if my throat is like dying right now because I just yapped for like an hour. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Goodbye.